I thought I would do a get to know me tag so we can get to know each other better. A couple of you have DM'd me on Instagram asking how come I've got a British accent when I'm living in Amsterdam, etc. So I thought I would clarify all of that. But before we start, I just wanted to say thank you so much for bearing with me this year. I know I haven't uploaded at all, and this is going to be my first upload. It's been quite stressful, and a couple of you, instead of just unsubscribing, which you could have easily done, you decided to actually email me and ask me if everything's okay, or hey, are you going to upload? I just really appreciate it. But basically, in a nutshell, this is what's happened. It's just been, I've been really exhausted. My little Finn here was attacked by another dog that lives just around the corner from us. It's really stressful every time I go out because I think, oh my God, am I going to bump into them? This massive dog, it's like a 40-kilo dog, came up to my hips, grabbed him by the neck, and it was really stressful. Thank God nothing happened to him. I mean, things happened to him, but it was just bite marks on his skin, so he's got scabs underneath all here from bite marks, but thank God nothing worse happened. It could have ended up terribly. He's really tired because he's also not sleeping properly. Sorry, there's just been... So yeah, sorry, without getting into too many details, because I'm sure that's really boring, it's just been the attack. I couldn't sleep for a week after that because all I could see was just like this other dog's like just biting his neck. I just couldn't sleep, and I couldn't forgive myself because I completely froze. I know it sounds really dramatic maybe to some, but it's my first dog and the first time he's ever been attacked by a dog. I just didn't handle it very well at all, so I was really disappointed in myself as well. And the attack aside, he's also been poorly as of late, and we can't figure out what it is. So we're seeing a specialist, and we're kind of in contact with the specialist to try to figure out what it could be. Yeah, I'm just tired. There's nothing in comparison with how he's feeling, poor thing. And I know, I mean, people go through far worse things, and I have probably a lot of mothers with babies that are up every 2 hours feeding their babies, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, I've been doing this for 6 months. But I mean, I know it's nothing in comparison, it's just that I'm not used to it, so this gave me a taster. But let's get into it and start with the first question, which is, by the way, nobody has tagged me because obviously I'm such a small YouTuber, who would tag me, so I've just tagged myself. I was born in Tehran in Iran, and we moved to Sweden as we escaped to Sweden as political refugees when I was 6 years old. For the ones that are not aware, there was an Islamic revolution taking place in Iran in 1979, and there was also war with Iraq. So thank goodness Sweden let us stay, otherwise we would have been... I can't whistle, by the way. That was my attempt to whistle. So yeah, I was brought up in Sweden, so I'm Swedish as well. I lived in Sweden up until I was 18, and then I moved to London. I mean, 3 days after my graduation. Sweden is amazing, and I love it. It's an amazing country, and I love it for many different reasons, but I always wanted to live in the concrete jungle, and I was sort of like a small town girl with big dreams in fashion, and I just didn't feel like I could achieve them in Sweden, because also I didn't want to be a designer, and that was sort of the only route you could go through in fashion at the time. I wanted to be in styling. I kind of knew that much. So I thought, no, I need to go to London College of Fashion or Instituto Marangoni, but I had my mind set on London College of Fashion, packed my bags, moved to London, and yeah, started studying at London College of Fashion. God knows how I got in. It's still beyond me until this day, but I got in and I studied fashion marketing. I consider myself a Londoner at this point. I left London 2 years ago due to my husband's job, so we both left and came to Amsterdam, where we're currently residing, and where we got Finn as well, because we obviously couldn't have a job in London. We were working 24/7. I was born in 1982. I speak obviously Farsi, which is what we speak in Iran. I speak Swedish, I speak English. I don't speak Dutch, but I understand a bit due to the Swedish, because it's actually, they're very close. I want to learn Italian. My first ever hobby or passion in life was dancing, and I just wanted to be a dancer. That's all I wanted to do. But I gave up on that dream due to several different reasons. But yeah, it's still a very, very keen interest of mine. It's my only escapism. It's the one thing that really makes me forget about everything else. But saying that, I haven't been in a dance studio for 20 years. Yeah, something like that, 15, 20 years. And I keep thinking, I need to start taking dance lessons. It's really scary though when you've done it before, because I think mentally you think you are where you left off. But it's not about that, it's just about the fact that I really enjoy it. That's what I keep telling myself, so I need to get back into the studio. I also obviously really enjoy styling, makeup. I've always been really into that. I always cut out makeup looks that I liked and styling, and I was always playing with my Barbies, not playing, but styling them and making new outfits for them, doing their hair. That's just always what I have done. And I'm also very interested in psychology, actually. So it was always a matter of, oh, shall I study psychology or fashion? And that was after I gave up my dreams about dancing, of course. But yeah, psychology is a big interest as well. I'm 170 centimeters tall, or 5'7". I'm a Sagittarian, and I'm a Sagittarian to the core. I mean, I don't know if you believe in star signs or not, but I certainly do. After reading my own one at a young age, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is spot on. And a lot of my friends, really close friends, tend to be Leos, and yeah, I believe in it. And yeah, I am a Sagittarian to the T. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could do a completely separate video on just my favorite movies, but let me say that I really love Wes Gordon movies. I just love the way they look, the way they feel, the music. They just seem really enchanting and charming and whimsical, with a very, very dry sense of humor, which I really like. I also adore Woody Allen movies. I know they're sort of Marmite, you love it or you hate it. I really enjoy Woody Allen movies. Actually, I should say my favorite ones. My favorite Wes Gordon movie is Grand Hotel Budapest, or is it Grand Budapest Hotel? I always mix it up. Woody Allen, I adore Midnight in Paris, so much so that when I saw it in the cinema and I came out, I just did not understand why. I feel like I'm living in the wrong era half the time anyway, so I just didn't understand why I was living this life. Why am I not living in the 20s in Paris, being friends with Picasso and Dali? I couldn't cope. I sound like a right weirdo. Oh, and of course, I should say I almost moved on to the next one and I realised Audrey Hepburn. I love Audrey, I adore Audrey Hepburn, and I really enjoy Roman Holiday. So I thought this was a bit of a funny question, but I kept it because I just wanted to mention that I prefer quality over quantity. Not saying that you can't have loads of really good friends, but I just have very few friends. I think I can count my closest friends on one hand, and those are the ones that I consider like family, and I would do anything for them. So yeah. I'm reading 2 books at the same time. I have read them before. I'm rereading them. I kind of study them. They're my study books, and I've got a pencil in there as well because I take notes and underline things. But I am reading Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. This is about the power of thinking without thinking. So it's about trusting your gut instinct. It's amazing because, especially for somebody like me with a short attention span, this gives you loads of different actual scenarios that's happened in real life where experts in their field have trusted their gut instinct. Superb. This is another incredible book. I wanted to say amazing and incredible, and it just turned funny. But this is an incredible book. This is The Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I really like Elizabeth Gilbert and the way she speaks and writes because I can relate to it. I can't relate too well to self-help books. I hate calling them that, but yeah, self-improvement books, whatever, that are too cheesy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this hug convention, but it's just not for me. I find it too cheesy. I can't relate to it. And I think Elizabeth Gilbert speaks with a sense of humor, writes with a sense of humor, and I can understand it and receive it. Does that make sense? And it's actually due to this book that I gathered the courage to start a YouTube channel, because I've wanted to do it for ages, and I sat in front of a ring light staring at it for a year, and this book is what made me take the plunge and do it. This is creative living without fear. I feel like I can do a completely different video on this as well. But yes, I have many obsessions and I go through phases. It could be food related, it could be fashion related. So for example, I love mochis. I start to just like be obsessed with it and just eat loads of mochis for a duration of time. Or poke bowls, and then I just like poke bowls. At the moment, I'm really into my halloumi and couscous recipe that I posted on Instagram stories a while ago. I just crave it and have it all the time. I have cravings, like a pregnant woman when it comes to food, but I'm not pregnant. I also have the same thing with movies, or for example, documentary, Manolo Blahnik's documentary. You know I love Manolo. I've rewatched that a couple of times. I find it inspirational. I have, for example, 5 outfits that I adore during a period of time, and I just keep re-wearing them until I get tired of it and I'll have a new set. Manolo obviously is a massive obsession, I should say that too. I'm just talking about superficial things now, obviously. My first real job was as a personal shopper in Harrods by appointment, and for the ones that don't know, Harrods is a big department store in Knightsbridge in London, and I started working there as an intern. It was 8 of us with no positions going, but somehow an assistant left, so I got that role as an assistant, a personal shopper's assistant, and then I became a personal shopper. Intern, a personal shopper's assistant, personal shopper, and then private client manager. Private client manager is just a fancy name for a senior personal shopper. And it might be interesting to give you a little brief description about by appointment. So it's for loads of different types of clients, but one of them is the client that is cash rich and time poor. So they need help sourcing items just because they don't have time to shop. And it could be anything from entrepreneurs to celebrities to dignitaries, royal families, yeah, all sorts of people. It could also be for people that are extremely fashion aware and have the time, but they just like to have a second opinion, or they like somebody to bounce off ideas from, or they want to obtain items that are very sought after that they can't personally get hold of themselves. So then we use our contacts to get hold of those very hard to obtain items for them. We would do anything, not just ready to wear. We could help with, it's a lifestyle really. So we could sell you a house because we have a real estate, Harrods real estate. We have Harrods interior design. So we could sell you a house, help make it up, I mean interior wise. Sell you a plane, do the interior for the plane in terms of all the details. Sell you a dog and do your wardrobe. I mean, we could do it all with the help of different teams, but yeah, so very busy, very interesting, love it. Still do that job while I'm in Amsterdam. I'm still in contact with some clients and work with them, yeah. So I do that on the side of the handbag, the pom-pom handbag business that I have online, as well as YouTube, which is really fun as well, obviously. Okay, first things first, I don't ever belt out anything because my voice is so bad that I scare myself, and also I don't enjoy singing ever. I never have. I know you don't have to have an amazing voice, you can just enjoy singing, but my worst nightmare would be to attend a karaoke night as an event with friends. I just would hate it. I mean, I'm exaggerating, it's obviously not my worst nightmare, but I just don't, yeah, it's not for me. But are you ready for this? This is my mom's fault because she likes Julio Iglesias. Do you know who Julio Iglesias is? Enrique Iglesias' dad. I'm like, sometimes when I need cheering up, I listen to Julio Iglesias. He just does it. Actually, hold on, let's listen to a song. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Julio Iglesias songs. It just makes you happy. What can we listen to? Hold on, Moonlight Lady. I knew it was moon something. Just listen to this and tell me it doesn't make you happy. It's just so good. How does this not make you happy? Can you hear this? I know the lyrics. This is my my mum's fault. Mum loves Coolio and she'd always play it at home in Sweden. Okay, I digress. Oh, I hope you have a cup of tea for this. Not just this, but just the whole video. I feel like this is such a long video. I'm so sorry. I hope it's not boring. Two things spring to mind. One is the people that have no table manners and chew with their mouth open. Why? Isn't that one of the first things you're taught as a child? And they sit everywhere. They're on the tube, they're on the trains, they're at the restaurant, and they're just chewing away. And I'm the person that gives them that look, you know, the one that goes. I even turn around if they're sitting behind me. I kind of turn around and I just give them like a despicable look. I do that. I know that's horrible, but I do. I'm hoping that the look will make them close their mouth. The second one is actually even worse, and you guys might have seen that I posted something on Instagram stories on this as well. People that don't understand personal space. Who are these people? I can't bear it. People that stand so close that you're afraid you're going to get pregnant, because surely you can. You're standing in a queue and they're right here breathing down your neck. I feel like turning around and saying, really, I could get pregnant and I don't fancy getting pregnant. Like, do you mind moving away? We're not going to get there any faster. You're breathing down my neck. It's not going to make the queue go any faster. I can't bear it. They're everywhere, by the cash point, in the queues, or people that just walk into you. Oh, I need a Xanax. Do you have some? You must have some pet peeves. Please, pet peeves. Please write them in the description box below, because I know they're going to make me laugh. I have so many, but I'm just not going to get it. Those are the first two ones that I thought of. Sometimes when I'm nervous, I talk a lot. That's why this video is so long. Sometimes I curl my hair when I'm nervous. Another thing is, which I have come to realize whilst doing YouTube videos, and this only happens when I'm doing YouTube videos. You see me scratching like I have an itch. I'm not actually itchy. That's a nervous thing that I do. Stupid hair. That's a nervous thing that I do. I scratch, and I also do things with my nose, or I cough. Excuse me. I don't actually have a cough. All these three things occur when I'm filming YouTube videos because I'm so out of my comfort zone and incredibly nervous. If you're facing the bed, I always sleep on the left-hand side if I'm sharing it with my husband, but if I'm alone, I am the person that takes over the entire bed. And I sleep mainly on my tummy and like in a funny position, kind of stretching out. I stretch a lot when I'm sleeping, but I'm trying to only like sleep like a mummy, just on my back to, you know, preserve the face for as long as I can. I know I should get a silk pillow, but what's better than a silk pillow for your face and your skin? To not let your skin touch the pillow at all. So yeah, it's not going very well. I love food, but the favorite comfort food would be Italian. I love Italian food or Persian food, especially because I can't make Persian food myself. It's really complicated and takes forever. Things marinate for days and hours. Who's got time for that? So I don't really ever go to Starbucks. I can't really have coffee. I know they have far more options than just coffee, but I can't drink coffee because I can't have the caffeine in coffee, but I can have the caffeine in tea, and I obviously love tea. But the caffeine in coffee makes me, I'm not exaggerating, it makes me feel like I'm going to have an anxiety attack, I think. I've never had one, but I imagine it starts off that way. I get really anxious, I can't breathe, I have heart palpitations, I get shaky. It's terrible, I can't have it. And I know they have decaf options, but I just don't go there. I kind of just, if I'm going to go somewhere to get something to drink, I would probably get coconut water, because I love anything coconutty. I would get some kind of a juice. And with the juice, I always get like, oh, the detox one. And I have one, you know, a week. And I think, oh, I'm going to be completely detoxified after this. Just wishful thinking. I also really love bubble tea. Bubble tea, the juice kind, not the milk type. That makes me feel nauseous. With extra tapioca. Been intrigued by the Japanese culture and the country for as long as I can remember, and I haven't been, because every time I have a holiday, we sort of opt for a beach holiday just because we lack so much vitamin D here, whether we're living in London or in Amsterdam. So yeah, it tends to be beach holidays. And also I think you need at least 2 weeks off to go to Japan. If you're going to do it, if you're going to go all that way, make all that effort, I think you need to be off for 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm just so intrigued by the people, the culture, the aesthetics, the food, everything. I'm just obsessed with it. And I studied with a lot of Japanese girls at London College of Fashion, and just, oh, I just really want to go. I would ask them questions, and they would give me loads of tips, and we would talk about tea houses and geishas and just their culture. And oh, I need to go. It's on my list. My hair is just getting worse and worse, and my battery is dying. Okay, quickly, favorite quote. I think my favorite quote, well, one of them is one by Maya Angelou, and she says, people will forget what you said and what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I like to live by that. That's it, thank you so much for watching. I hope it wasn't boring. Ugh, it's so long. I hope it wasn't boring. And also, please, don't think that I have forgotten about you guys that DM'd me. Before I did the tag, I said, do you have any questions for me? And some of you were wonderfully quick and sent me DMs with questions. And then I decided to do a tag because I thought that would be easier. But I'm sorry I haven't got back to you. I will. So please don't think I've forgotten about you. I will get back to your DMs. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all doing really well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.